My friends, it is the most wonderful time of the year, or at least one of the most wonderful times of the year, because it is Cultivate What Matters Power Sheets launch season. I have got all the 411 on some of the new products that they are launching for this year. And by new products, I mean the new renditions, the refreshed versions of the products we already know and love. In this video, we're going to be talking about the planners that are associated with the planning season and the goal setting season. If you are looking for the traditional goal setting planner, the Power Sheets, that will be in a different video that I will link up here, wherever the up here is. I'm filming and it's like upside down in my viewfinder, so I'm not exactly sure where it's going to be. It's actually going to be here. Let's be honest, it's going to be here. So if you want that video, I will have that link down below and up there for you. But in this video, we are going to focus on the two types of planners, or two of the types of planners. I got to choose from a couple of options here. So they do have a daily, or they do have a season by season weekly planner that is dated and ready to go. And then they also have a daily version, I believe, of this Fresh Start 90-day goal planner. So the insides, the formatting is the same, more or less, for those things. So as we look through this, the weekly version of this planner is going to have a very similar look to this one, and the daily version of this 90-day planner is going to have a very similar look to this one. So you're getting the entire look at the line. I just have these particular items to share with you. So what exactly are these items? We have the season by season 2026 dated daily planner. And then we have the Fresh Start 90-day weekly goal planner. This is undated and is going to be able to be used whenever you want. Spoiler alert, I'm actually going to use this starting September 1st, and I'm going to use it to get me through what I have officially considered my fourth quarter, my final quarter of the year, September, October, November. Why do I function that way? I'm trying it out this year because December often ends up a wash for me. And sometimes it's December and January that end up a wash for me. It just happens to be how my life has kind of been laid out the last handful of years with holiday travel and all of that stuff. So I'm going to try to use like my last 90 days vibe and my final quarter vibe with this planner starting in September, which is, soon. So I want to get this filmed so I can start using that actively. This is a dated planner that will start on January 1st. And if you haven't noticed by now, I picked a manicure. I just did my nails. And I noticed I had the colors to match the Power Sheets products, and I went, absolutely yes. How'd I do? Not bad, right? I know, I'm a dork. It's fine. All right, let's get started with the walkthrough of the season by season daily planner. So as I mentioned, this is a daily dated planner. You open it up and you have the traditional stuff that's in the pocket. You have your season by season holidays, information for you to put in your book, and then you have the 2026 at a glance. If you are somebody who likes to have like big picture view, this is a really great tool to use. If you have like vacations you're going to take and special things, you can use different color highlighters or pens and really get a solid annual view at what your year is going to look like, which I think is super cool. And then we also have, of course, a planner would not be complete without some stickers, right? We have some color coordinated to the new Power Sheets colors, and they're just updated colors, right? Flags for the Power Sheets and hearts. We got a couple of seasonal things, birthday stuff, and some gold seals. And then as per usual, you can see the blooms, flowers throughout, and then we have the traditional gold striping for the inside detail. And then you have a removable bookmark, so you can always take your place. Season by season daily planner. Let's get this walkthrough going. I'm going to kind of move things pretty quickly because this year, in terms of the meat of a lot of the content, there's not too much that has changed, honestly. One thing that I will say has changed is the color palette of the tabs. They're more autumnal. If you are somebody who is into like the color seasons and things like that, this says autumn to me. Kind of muted, but still colorful, but not like that same pop of vibrancy that we've had in years past. These feel a little bit less bold, bright, bam in your face while still maintaining color, which I think I'd like, honestly. I think I like. I'm driving with this color scheme, okay? So we have the year ahead. This is just a little thing to help us get started. Write your name on page 1 and then you can check it off or put a sticker when you do that. Choose your 2026 goals, pace yourself for success, set a weekly rhythm, and then here you can write down what some of your goals are for the year, commit to what matters, plan ahead. And then we have a plant good goals, which is a theme of the quarterly reset. So in January, February, March, I love that it has things broken down by month. And it just really helps you get a view of like, okay, this is the focus for January, February, etc., etc. And then you have my goals for the seasons ahead. So it's focusing on the first quarter, memories I want to make. I want more of and less of. This is one of the things they actually changed the wording of. The concept is still the same, but the wording is different. And what I mean by that is this used to be the saying yes to and saying no to section, but they changed the verbiage to say more of and less of. And I honestly love that. I love that. It really gets rid of that all or nothing mindset that can tend to creep in when something like that is being planned. So instead of saying, I don't want to be on social media or doom scroll at all, no doom scrolling, you can say less doom scrolling, right? More exercise, less sitting on the couch for an extended period of time. So it doesn't give you that same, it's either all or nothing mindset. And I love that. And then this is a place that happens every season where you get to kind of outline what your typical week is going to look like. And we have all day section, and then it runs from 6 a.m. until the very last line here is 10 p.m. So 9 p.m. is your last slot. And then what you can do is you can design what your week generally looks like for the quarter, which means if you know that January, February, March might look a certain way, you might, test drive where you want different routines to be, hours you know that you're going to be working, or the kids have specific activities for that season. You can write all of this in so you can have a general overview of what the rhythms are for that given season. Then we are officially into the January tab where we have a dated monthly view. I love that the question they asked here is, how can you rest well this month? And then this is our weekly setup. So on the left here, we have the weekly refresh page where you look at what's ahead. It's dated, yeah? You look at what's ahead, what's on your mind, clear your head and gain fresh perspective. And then it gives you a slot for 5 different weekly habits that you want to track this week. What I love about this, or daily habits rather, daily habits. I love this because every week you can choose different habits if you want to. Whereas in the power sheets, you're kind of set on those daily habits for the entire month, right? Here, you can be like, you know what my focus is going to be this week? 10,000 steps and a gallon of water and blah, 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 blah. And then if you know a couple weeks from now, you have like the craziest week at work and you know that those are all just improbable things that are going to happen, you can be like, okay, so my water goal is going to be 80 ounces and my step goal is going to be 6,000. And you can change them and modify them and focus on them for the week, which is great. Then this is what your daily view looks like. So you have the schedule on the side where you of course add in all of the stuff that you're going to be doing, appointments, routines, etc. And then you have what is your top priority for the day. And then you have your to-do list that you get to check off and rewrite every single day. And then down here, they have auto-populated a couple of to-do list items for you. And that is tend to your goals, express gratitude, and encourage someone. So those are the things that Cultivate What Matters would like you to do every single day. And this is just such a great reminder, the 10 to my goals one, especially because how many days go by when our to-do lists actually have nothing to do with our goals that we're trying to achieve. We get so caught up in the everyday life of the to-do list that we forget to put the stuff that's actually going to move that progress forward on our goals on the to-do list. So this is a reminder to tend to your goals each and every day. And so this is what it looks like. It's every day is the same. We also have today's win down at the bottom every day. And then Saturday and Sunday, so the weekend does look a little different. We don't get to-do lists on the weekend. And old Brianna would be very mad about that because I like a to-do list. New Brianna, 2025, 2026 Brianna loves it because we Sabbath on Saturdays, which means there's no set to-do list anyway. And on Sundays, there's really no set to-do list. It's more of a routine of making sure the house is clean and whatnot. So I don't need a to-do list on the weekends anymore. Now, That's what 1 week looks like. Here is, and this is my first flip through. I'm flipping through blind, my friends. Here is my one beef, okay? The weekly refresh for the next week is right here. So every other week, your Monday your weekdays, not just your Mondays, but your weekdays are going to change. So if you remember, last week, your weekly refresh was on the left and Monday was on the right. I kind of liked that. I can't tell you why, but I kind of liked that. This week, your weekly refresh is here and your Monday is on the right. So as you go through and you plan things, do not anticipate, and I'm only warning you about this because I have done this so many times with planners that are laid out like this. My brain decides that like a Wednesday is always on a certain side. And so I have many times auto-filled things that are supposed to be on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, or on Tuesdays because it happened to be in the place where I thought Wednesday was supposed to be, if that makes sense. So for this following week, you have Friday on the left, you have your weekend on the right, and then when you turn the page, then you're back to the first thing. So every other week is going to alternate the format, but all the content is exactly the same. It's just off by a page. Is that slightly perturbing in my book? Yes. Is it a deal breaker? Absolutely not. So then we flip to the end of the month, and it is worth noting that Sunday is on February 1st. So I know some planners will end up switching months on you after the first of the month, or like to the week of the first of the month. But this planner did not do that. This planner kept February 1st before the February tab. And then you just have more weekly refreshes. What you don't have in here is like a monthly plan. That you do not have. You have a quarterly plan, and you have a weekly plan and a daily plan. Obviously, this is a daily planner, but you do not have like a, let me plan some goals for the month. That's what the power sheets are for, right? The power sheets are meant to be the companion to this product. So this is not, to be clear, this is not a goal setting product. This is a planner product, right? If you want the goal setting product, you need to get the power sheets. Now, this is what you have. This is Plant Good Goals. This is the Plant Good Goals section for the season by season planner. You get April, May, June. You get my goals for the season ahead, and that we've seen this page already, right? This is it. This is your goal planning. That's it. And then with the new quarter comes a new opportunity to revamp your weekly rhythms. And that is how it looks the rest of the time. So you will get a quarterly refresh after June, going into July for Q3. There it is. And then all the dates continue to remain the same. All the weeks look the same. All the days look the same. You will get a Q4 at the beginning of October, end of September. There it is. That's for Q4. And every day is dated. Every month is dated. And every weekday looks like this. Every weekly refresh looks like this, okay? So that's what it looks like. And then let's see what we've got at the end. All right, so there's January 3rd, which is the end of the week. Then we have this cute little 2026 year in review where you just write down all of the different memories and milestones and goals and things of that nature. You have a handful of blank pages in the back, and that's it. This is just a blank page for support there. And that's it. That is the planner, okay? I did have to pull it away to close it because she thick, okay? She thick. But she's beautiful. She's just thick. So this is the daily planner. Let's move on to the Fresh Start Weekly Goal Planner. Now, the one thing I will correct myself on, you know how I said the planner was a planner and not a goal-setting product? This is a goal-setting product. So this will be the weekly layout, and in the weekly planner, the layout will look the same, but in the dated planner, there will not be the goal-setting aspect of it. On the flip side, with this Fresh Start Weekly Goal Planner, it is a 90-day goal planner, and this has the weekly layout. And if you wanted the one that is the daily layout, the layout will look like the planner I just showed you, but it will have the goal setting components that are in this book as well. I hope that made sense. So let's go ahead and dive right into this. There is no pocket here. You have your little bookmark, your Fresh Start Weekly Goal Planner. Again, this is an undated goal setting scenario. Your fresh start begins here. So what you have here is something very similar, if not identical, to the Power Sheets goal setting setup. Okay, you have your little map of things to do to get started, and you get to put stickers on or give yourself credit however you see fit. And then these pages will look familiar to you if you are a seasoned Fresh Start goal planner or a Power Sheets user. This is going to look very familiar. You have the Come Alive Again, name what fires you up. This is just to get to know yourself a little better and see where your head is at. Learn from the past. What are the good things, challenges, lessons, and gratitude? Reflection reaps rewards. Okay. And then your Cultivated Life Evaluation, right? Where you get to set your different areas. Now, one thing that is worth noting, one very subtle change that they made is the family used to be the magenta pink, and they made it yellow. And so now personal and spiritual growth is the pink color and family is yellow, okay? Cultivating your mindset, upgrading your mindset, switching the negative thoughts into positive thoughts. Again, all of this is going to look very familiar to seasoned Power Sheets users. Name what and if you are watching my Power Sheets video, if you haven't watched it yet, you'll see this in that video too. If you're coming from that video, you've already seen this. Name what matters, name what won't have mattered, make decisions. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? As I said in the beginning of this video for the season by season planner, that's the one wording change that they did make to this prep work. Instead of saying yes to and saying no to, it's want more of and less of. Choose your focus. And I love they incorporated a QR code. Did I look to see what the QR code, where it took us? No, I'll do that when I'm doing my goal setting for this book. As I said, this is the book I'm going to start using in September. So here you get to brainstorm your goals. What goals would you like to set for each area of life? And then of course there is a blank area of life for you to choose what your area of life is going to be. The page about setting goals that stick, the bloom, break it down little by little, on purpose, on schedule, and measurable. And then here is your goals list. Worth noting, they do not have the little color flags here anymore to like put those stickers. Doesn't mean you can't put those stickers if you obtain them, because they are in the new goal setting book, the goal setting sticker book. They're there, so you can use them, but there is not actually a space for them, which is different. There are 8 goals like normal. And then you have your typical goal action plan. So like I said, this 90-day undated planner is for your 90 days. This is great if you're somebody who's into like the 12-week year, which is a great book, by the way. It's the concept of it is putting a year's worth of work into 12 weeks, because we could do that most of the time anyway. So you can reach your annual goals, but in 1 quarter. So if you're somebody who's like, I jive with the 12-week year, or I want a completely different set of goals every quarter, this might be a great way for you to go instead of the Power Sheets. So your goal action plans. For each goal, you write down what your goal is, why are you motivated to achieve it, what resources you need, what area of life it's for, what does success look like in the next 90 days, what might get in the way. Your goal includes habits, finish lines, or big dreams. How will you have fun with the goal along the way? And then here's your little plan. What will you do in month 1, month 2, month 3? Break it down so you have a visual plan of what the next 90 days are going to look like. And you get to do one of these for each of the 8 goals represented on the goal page. So then you can pick a word for the season. There's all of this other jargon here. I'm going to let you read it. If you really want to read it, hit pause. Or if you want to purchase it, then you can read it when you purchase it. Okay. So now we have weekly rhythm ideas for the season. Like the season by season, this is where you can kind of rough draft what your general weeks are going to look like for the season. Now, this page is also identical to what your weekly planning looks like. More on that in a bit. So now here we are. This is the beginning of our month. So for me, I'm going to write September here. Here is your blank, your undated calendar, where you get to write your dates in however you see fit for the month. And then you have your monthly reset, my friends. Here we go. This is what the tending list looks like. This is a slightly more pared down version of the tending list compared to the one that you see in the power sheets, but it is the exact same idea. You have the important to-dos, goals to make progress on my calendar, on my mind. You can do your cultivated life check-in where you give yourself a 1 through 10 on the areas of life. And then this is where you plan your goals for the month. Your monthly goals and projects are things that are either one and done or things that you can fill in the progress bar with over time as you get to the single action. Weekly action items or rhythms are things that are the same event that recur every week. So for example, if you have a yoga class that you want to start and you say go to yoga once a week, when you do it, you check it off and you get to do it every single week. Then we have a little page for notes. You can customize them if you have wildcard pages or things like that. And then this is what the weekly refresh looks like. This is also what the dated weekly planner looks like. I had that in 2025. And so it would have the date up here for the week. And this is not a daily to-do list, but a weekly to-do list. So what you have is this page and the next page for every single week. So what matters most this week, what's on my mind, what's ahead, gratitude, and then just like in the other book, the habits to tend that can change week to week. That's the primary difference between the tending list found here and the tending list in the power sheets. And then this is your weekly to-do list. I would advise if you're using this as a goal planner that your weekly to-do list is solely correlated to-do list items that actually move the needle forward on your goals that are in this book. That would be my recommendation. So again, if you wanted to use the daily planner as your planning tool, this is meant to be a goal achievement tool, not a day-to-day planning tool. So they would work in conjunction with one another. And then this is the second page of the same week. So this would be your planning page and your to-do list page for the week. And then you get the same weekly spread here that starts at 6 a.m. and goes, the last slot is 9. So this little dark line down here is 10 p.m., right? And you get to go through, and much like Google Cal, what I have done is this makes me visualize my Google Calendar. It looks the same as my Google Calendar, and that's how I like it. You might choose to use this page in a different way, but this is a look at your schedule and how you're going to get your to-do list done within the confines of this schedule. And that is what a weekly planner is. So every week, the very next page is the weekly refresh for the next week and the calendar for the next week. And on that goes. That's all the same. And then when you hit the end of the month, you get a month in review. Favorite memories, action steps I'm proud of, goals that are going well, what's not working, what I read or listened to, and gratitude. And then you get a page for notes. Then you have a new month and it all starts over again. Starting with your monthly calendar, month at a glance, and then your tending list. And you create your tending list for the month, and on it goes. It's the exact same for 3 months because that's a quarter. And then you have a month in review and your final tending list. And in case you were curious, each week or each month has 5 weeks in it. So while a quarter is 13 weeks, you get 15, okay? Use that however you will. And then at the end, just like in the other one, you have like your celebration of the season, not the year, the season, because you just completed 90 days. And it's very similar, if not identical, to the one that was in the daily planner. To everything there is a season, you got a couple of note pages in the back, and that's it. That is your 90 days. So for this video, that's all we're gonna get through. Again, the Fresh Start 90-day undated, whether you choose weekly goal planner or daily goal planner, the layouts are gonna be similar. So if you pick the daily, it's gonna look like this, but in this product, you will have the goal setting stuff. In the planners, so the weekly planner looks just like this layout, but contains no goal setting stuff outside of the one little page that we talked about. So these are great companion products, or if you use a planner, the Power Sheets is also great companion products to the dated planner. That's all for this video. I'm going to link these products and all the other products I'm mentioning throughout the launch down below for you. I do want to let you know that if you use the code Diva and the Divine, you will get a discount on your purchase. So when you're ready to buy, if you want to support my channel in the process, that would be a great way to do it at no additional cost to you. So thank you so much in advance for your support. If you are ready to go and watch the Power Sheets video, again, it'll be linked right here and down below for you. Head on over there and we will talk all things Power Sheets and the accessories that I have to go with it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see y'all real soon. Bye.